You may recognize her as the mother of the rap legend Tupac Shakur, but Afeni Shakur's life is a narrative that transcends the boundaries of the ordinary. Yes, much like her son Tupac, she walked a remarkable path filled with trials and triumphs. From the treacherous world of revolutionary activism winning over crack addiction, to the nurturing of one of hip-hop's brightest stars, you can undoubtedly tell charisma and resilience runs in the family. At one point in her life, she even represented herself and others in a 2-year case against the FBI, the state, and won. She did it while 8 months pregnant. Forced to mature early amidst the relentless fires of oppression, Afeni channeled her pain into a resolute commitment to serve her community, not with hatred, but with love. Continue watching as we dive deep into the indomitable story of Afeni Shakur, a tale of unyielding resilience, personal growth, and the enduring capacity for change. Her journey resonates not only with the African American community, but also with all who seek inspiration from a life lived with unwavering purpose. Early life. Afeni Shakur was born as Alice Faye Williams in 1947 in the rural heart of Lumberton, North Carolina. Imagine a young black girl's life in the segregated South of the 1950s, where the oppressive weight of racism clung to you like the stifling, humid air you breathed. A world where local white citizens' councils met weekly, their sole purpose to violently suppress any call for civil rights, where colored water fountains and bus seats marked your second-class status from childhood. This was the unforgiving reality in which Afeni Shakur's fiery spirit was forged. That's not all. Her family's struggles were also emblematic of a world fundamentally unfair. A truck driver father, who both emotionally and physically battered Afeni's mother, reinforced the sense that justice was a mirage. Entrenched poverty and woefully inadequate education perpetuated cycles of despair for many black families. What about life on the streets? Police brutality went unchecked, and angry white mobs lynched those who dared to call for change. Fortunately, in 1960, came a glimmer of hope in the form of the election of John Fitzgerald Kennedy. However, it wasn't until courageous civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and grassroots groups such as SNCC and the Black Panthers applied relentless pressure that the Kennedys addressed segregation. 8 years later, in 1968, the Black Panther Party ignited a galvanizing purpose within the then barely teenage Afeni, transforming her simmering pain into a firm resolve. Founded by Huey Newton and Bobby Seale in Oakland, the Panthers championed a socialist mission of armed self-defense to protect black communities, all while pioneering free community programs. Their unapologetic stance resonated deeply with 20-year-old Afeni, who had known the boots of oppression firsthand in the South. She threw herself into organizing initiatives like free breakfast for hungry children in New York. She also became a teacher of political education and volunteered at a hospital, efforts that finally provided real sustenance and care to her people. Trouble in troubled paradise. Unfortunately, trouble was never far from Afeni's path. It brewed, and it brewed fast. Afeni was quick to discern the grave threat that FBI infiltration posed to the very existence of the Panthers. She sounded the alarm, warning New York chapter leader Lumumba Shakur that a member named Ralph White seemed unnervingly eager to incite violence. But in the male chauvinist atmosphere of the time, her concerns were arrogantly dismissed. Her worst fears would soon be realized. Ralph White was not who he seemed. He was, in fact, an undercover officer named Raymond Wood, one of many agents dispatched by the NYPD to infiltrate and destabilize the Panthers through the COINTELPRO program. It was a dark morning on April 2, 1969, in the heart of Harlem, New York. Before the break of dawn, troops of heavily armed NYPD officers silently descended upon the city's landscape. Their mission: the local headquarters of the Black Panther Party and the homes of its members. This was no random event. It was a meticulously coordinated strike, directly sanctioned by the infamous FBI director Edgar Hoover himself. On this fateful day, 21 dedicated members of the Harlem chapter would be arrested and charged with a conspiracy to wage war on America through a campaign of bombings. Alongside Lumumba, Afeni found herself falsely arrested in 1969, facing a daunting 300 years behind bars if convicted. The government's aim was clear: to neutralize black activism by any means necessary. Confronted with authorities determined to silence her, a pregnant Afeni made a courageous decision. She chose to represent herself and the Panther 21 in court, a move that took everyone by surprise. The prosecution, unprepared for this diminutive, dark-skinned, short-haired young woman who didn't conform to their expectations, scrambled to discredit her. But her undisciplined approach was exactly what made Afeni a brilliant legal mind. Afeni embarked on meticulous research and conducted masterful witness interviews. Her sharp cross-examinations exposed the charges as a racist fabrication. Even prosecution witnesses admitted she had only been observed peacefully volunteering in community programs, a far cry from the terrorist depiction. In her rousing closing argument, delivered while 8 months pregnant, Afeni's eloquence earned the jury's empathy. She was not just a young, expectant mother. She was a young, expectant mother unjustly targeted. Her words left the jury with no option but to recognize her humanity. After 2 grueling years, the Panther 21 were acquitted of all charges in May 1971. Against insurmountable odds, Afeni had won not only her own freedom but that of her fellow activists through sheer force of will. It was a monumental legal victory against a government apparatus hell-bent on crushing black dissent. Life after the Black Panthers. All was better now, but Afeni's journey with the Black Panthers took a left turn due to FBI sabotage and internal conflicts that eroded trust. Following her acquittal and just weeks after giving birth to her son, Lassane Crooks, she was determined to instill in him a profound connection to his cultural heritage. In a celebratory gesture, she renamed him Tupac Amaru Shakur, drawing inspiration from the Incan revolutionary who fiercely battled Spanish conquerors. From his earliest years, Afeni nurtured Tupac with the stories of black struggle and the legacy of his activist lineage. She gravitated towards the more underground Black Liberation Army. The BLA emerged after the decline of the Panthers and employed guerrilla warfare tactics, including bank expropriations, as a response to state forces. With Tupac's upbringing deeply steeped in the history of black activism, he was destined to carry forward the torch of his mother's fierce determination and commitment to social justice. Crumbling love, the FBI's dirty play. Afeni found love in the arms of Mutulu Shakur, a member of the Black Liberation Army known for his disciplined spiritual focus. They tied the knot in 1975 and were blessed with a daughter, Sekiwa. However, their love story took a tragic turn when Mutulu was implicated in the infamous 1981 Brinks armored truck robbery, an incident that claimed the lives of 2 police officers and a security guard. Afeni was devastated as Mutulu went underground, leaving her to grapple with years of uncertainty until his eventual capture and imprisonment. The Brinks incident marked the beginning of a tumultuous period in Afeni's life. The FBI's relentless actions would soon take an even darker turn. Afeni's life began unraveling, with crack cocaine addiction taking hold in the wake of the Brinks tragedy. Author John Potash delved deeply into the events surrounding Afeni and her son's eventual targeting by the FBI. In an interview with Hip Hop DX, John Potash boldly explained, "The part of her life that isn't talked about enough is that even though she had all of her flaws, including the brain chemistry that developed an addiction, it was U.S. intelligence that used that against her to get a crack dealer near her when she was at her lowest low. They continuously gave her crack regularly to cause her to develop a full-fledged addiction. That's the evidence I found out." Over time, Afeni's life continued to spiral due to the addiction that had taken hold. By the mid-1980s, she was addicted to crack cocaine and estranged from her teenage children. Tupac, now carving his own path in Baltimore and later California, was deeply affected by his mother's struggles. He embarked on his journey in the music industry with the group Digital Underground. By this time, Afeni was experiencing periods of homelessness and the harsh streets of New York City. It was during this trying phase that political mentor Geronimo G. Jaga Pratt stepped in, offering a lifeline by helping her enter rehab. Afeni found the strength to overcome her addiction and got clean in 1990. She then relocated to Marin City, California, in an effort to rebuild the trust and relationship with her son, Tupac, who had been deeply affected by her addiction. A second chance at life, Tupac's death. As Tupac's rap talents propelled him to stardom with acclaimed albums delving into the heart of urban black life, the fragile bond between mother and son slowly healed. In a hit single, Dear Mama, Tupac proudly honored his mother's unwavering resilience. In the lyrics, he acknowledged her sacrifices as a young revolutionary, a testament to Afeni's strength. His searing lyrics in songs like Brenda's Got a Baby and Words of Wisdom passionately illustrated the struggles of young Black Americans and called out the systemic neglect that afflicted their communities. But their story didn't have a happy ending. In Las Vegas in 1996, tragedy struck again when Tupac's life was cut short by a drive-by shooting. He was just 25 years old. His ambitious music career was left unfinished, but it left behind a massive catalog of politically potent songs yet unheard. Afeni now faced the daunting task of mourning the loss of her firstborn child, while simultaneously turning to the monumental responsibility of guiding his artistic legacy. She fought tirelessly against exploitative record companies to gain control of Tupac's recordings. Determined to uphold his vision, she did what she has always done. She won. In 1997, Afeni founded Amaru Entertainment, carefully managing the release of Tupac's archives, including his writings and unheard songs. She sanctioned posthumous albums like Until the End of Time, allowing new generations of fans to appreciate his true talents. Afeni ensured that ownership of Tupac's music remained within the family, a stark contrast to the exploitation so often endured by Black artists. With time, Afeni's nurturing of Tupac's memory extended to life-giving endeavors. She mentored youth and passionately spoke out against injustice, from cases of police brutality to felon disenfranchisement. The Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation, established in 2005, funded community programs nationwide, focusing on arts, technology, and leadership training, amplifying his message of hope. Though Tupac was gone too soon, his courageous voice continues to echo, guided by the indomitable spirit of his mother, Afeni. Afeni's later years, a life well lived. In her later years, Afeni Shakur tirelessly dedicated herself to nurturing Tupac's legacy. She got into the creation of books, films, and the stewardship of his extensive archives. Afeni's candid interviews offered insights into her life as an activist, a mother, and a community leader, long after the headlines of the Panther 21 trial had faded. Her wisdom became a guiding light for countless young artists following in Tupac's footsteps. Afeni Shakur departed this world in 2016 from a heart attack at the age of 69. a free woman who had defied the odds time and time again. She overcame immense hardship and heartache to share her gifts with the world as an activist, a mother, a mentor, and so much more. Her indomitable revolutionary spirit stands tall alongside other Black women leaders like Shirley Chisholm, Angela Davis, and Diane Nash, who pushed boundaries and inspired future freedom dreams. Women who may have been written out of history books but are never forgotten. Afeni, like all human beings, was not without flaws. She made errors in judgment. But she never lost sight of Tupac's core vision, using his platform to speak truth to power. May Afeni's remarkable story inspire us all to confront injustice with courage, purpose, and determination until freedom reigns. The light within each of us, kindled centuries ago by ancestors who dreamt and fought for the freedom of their descendants, cannot be extinguished as long as we honor their memory. Afeni Shakur ignited a bold fire, and its flames are eternal. Thank you for watching. I'd like to take a moment to express our appreciation for the support you have provided. The support and engagement of our viewers serves as a source of motivation for us to produce more compelling melanin-rich content. Also, if there's anything you'd like to learn about Black history, leave a comment on what you'd like to see next. See you soon. Peace.